everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and I run the blog lifefromtheviolasection.com, where I share my favorite practice tips, general advice, and tech for musicians. Today I am comparing two iPads, my iPad Pro 2020 and my mom's new iPad Air 4, which she just got this week, and I am going to see how they both work for musicians. So if you're new to my channel, I have a video all about what's on my iPad. I have a whole playlist of Tech for Musicians videos linked up above. So if you'd like to see exactly how I use my 12.9-inch display iPad for music reading, you can go check out that whole playlist and you'll find a lot of great information. So my iPad is the iPad Pro 2020 12.9-inch display. This is the largest one that you can get, and I use an Apple Pencil with this. I find that it works really, really well to read music off of, teach with, all of the kind of things that I need to do. This one is my mom's new iPad Air 4. The screen size is 10.9 inches, so it's a little bit smaller than the 11-inch iPad Pro, but it just came out in fall 2021. So this is kind of a newer product. This one's a little bit older, but this is the Pro. This is the Air. So the Pro has like better features, faster performance, and all of that, but this one is a little newer. The Air is a couple $100s cheaper than the Pro, but the Pro that I use is about 2 years old now, so you might be able to find it used somewhere or refurbished for cheaper than the original asking price. So let's dive in and see how these two compare. Here are the two iPads side by side. This is my iPad Pro 12.9-inch display. This is the iPad Air 4 10.9-inch display. So right away you can see the size difference. The body of the iPad Air 4 fits within the entire screen of the iPad Pro with a little extra screen to spare in there. So if you're looking for a display that's going to be the most similar to physical sheet music, the 12.9-inch display, is going to be the best option, which is personally why I bought this one. So let's pull up some sheet music on here and get it into Forscore. I downloaded Forscore on the iPad Air 4 so that we can directly compare it to what I use on my iPad Pro. So I'm just downloading for release off of IMSLP. My mom is a piano teacher, so I'm sure she won't mind having this on her iPad. Once I open up the PDF, I go up to the share icon, and then I should be able to choose Forscore, and I can. So now that I'm in Forscore, I'm going to tap on the screen, go up to these three dots, press the share button, just going to choose PDF, all the pages, AirDrop, and then to my iPad. Now I'm going to choose Open with Forscore, and there we are. Same piece of music on both iPads. So right away, I instantly see the difference in screen size. This feels like reading regular music to me, and this feels like a bit of a stretch to my eyes. So one thing that I usually do on my own iPad, even though it is large, is I crop in on the sheet music so that I can use as much screen real estate as possible. So let's do that on this one. So I'm gonna go up to this little kind of briefcase, then crop, and it automatically cropped it really well, but I don't really need those little things in there. I think that's gonna be the best. So I press on the next page. It's just gonna automatically do them all. I think I'll leave it like that. So this is looking a little bit better now. It's still pretty small though, and let me just put it kind of a piano's distance away from me. I can still read it, but I'm young and I wear glasses, so I generally have good vision with my glasses. So the iPad Air does work with the Apple Pencil too, but since mine is connected to my iPad, I can't use it on the other iPad today, but you can see that it does magnetize through the case, which is nice, but it's not trying to pair or anything, and I really don't want to mess up my own settings. So also, when you do put the Apple Pencil on the side of the iPad, you immediately see how large the Apple Pencil is compared to the size of the tablet. The tablet isn't much larger than the Apple Pencil. I mean, it kind of is, but not to the extent that the Pro is, the 12.9-inch Pro at least. The Pencil is a little more than half the size, I guess 2/3 of the size of the tablet. So just even looking at that, there's a big difference, and it just feels, I don't know, less pro, obviously, but like it doesn't feel like as much of a good sheet music reader as the Pro is, just because this feels like reading real sheet music. It doesn't feel all that different from reading paper sheet music, besides that it's lit up and obviously it's on a screen, but the size of it has always felt very comparable. I didn't really have to go through a weird transition phase going from paper sheet music to the iPad just because it was so easy like this. But this one feels very small to me. So let's look just at the Air for a minute. And I think the best way to use the Air for reading sheet music would be to have it in landscape mode so that you can actually have it the real size. And now that it's bigger like this, it does read more like the Pro, except, you know, you've got like half the screen because it's sideways. So then the big problem that we run into when we make the iPad in landscape mode is turning all of these extra pages just to get, you know, we're going to have twice as many page turns because we're dividing each page in half. So let's connect my Bluetooth pedal and make sure that that works with this iPad. I'm sure it will, but I just want to show you. Okay, so if you've never paired a Bluetooth music pedal with an iPad, I'll just show you a quick tutorial how. So to get into pairing mode, I turned off the Bluetooth on my iPad that it is connected to. And then sometimes I do have to press down both pedals, but it usually just pops up with the pairing mode automatically once it's disconnected. So now in settings on the iPad, it showed up as Bluetooth music pedal. I just select that, and now it's connected. And see, it stopped blinking. So funny. It's just kind of a normal blink now. So now that the pedal is connected, we have Forscore up again. I'm just going to press on the right pedal to move the page forward, so hopefully we should go down the page. Works totally fine. Goes to the next page. Working really well. Just as fast as the Pro, really. I didn't really expect anything different, but I just wanted to test it out for you guys. There are a bunch of different modes on the Bluetooth pedal. I haven't played with them much just because number 3, the up and down arrows, has always worked well for me. So I've never had any problems like that. If you don't like the way that the pages turn in Forscore, I know that some people don't like the curl transition. You can turn off transitions. You can choose stack or slide, which are just different animations that you'll see when you go between pages. So some people just prefer different ways. I've always been fine with curl just because it feels like paper sheet music and it's never really bothered me. There shouldn't be any differences in the Forscore app between the Pro and the iPad Air. You should have all the annotation features. You can do the exact things that you want. Of course, I don't have the Apple Pencil to show you today, so I can just use my finger, but all the same annotations apply. If you'd like a full video on how to use the annotation features in Forscore, I do have a video showing exactly that, and I'll link it in the eye above the video. Just for an extra size comparison, here's my iPad Pro 12.9-inch display, a real piece of paper sheet music, and the iPad Air 10.9-inch display. So the paper sheet music is the largest, then the Pro, then the iPad Air. So comparing the stabs to each other, it's kind of hard for me to put the stabs right up next to each other because the paper is so thin that my iPad thinks I'm touching it, but the stab size looks basically the same between the iPad and the sheet music. Now let's look over at the Air. This is piano music versus bass music, so it's a little bit different, but the staff size is smaller on this one, which is totally to be expected, but just so that you all have a visual. So if you want to really only read sheet music off of your iPad and you don't need it to be far away from you, this is probably a totally fine option. When I'm just sitting here looking at it, I can easily read everything. Like I said, I'm a young person with good eyes, well, at least with glasses. But if I was trying to play the viola with this, it would be a lot further away and I think I would struggle with it. Only you know how far away you need your music to be though, so, you know, of course, it's up to you, or if you were okay with performing in landscape where everything is much larger. I know a lot of people do that, but, you know, it's nice to have it in the portrait way that we're used to reading sheet music just because it feels more natural, at least to me. So I think the biggest win for the iPad Pro is the screen size, of course, which, you know, I already knew that it would be just because it's already like the size of sheet music that we already know. But I think if you want to do more on your iPad than just reading sheet music, then maybe the Pro is better just because it has better insides. You know, if you're trying to edit videos on this or edit audio, if this is like a laptop replacement, then the Pro is definitely the best. If you're just looking for a laptop and you don't care about screen size too much, then the Air is a nice tablet. It's just, you know, it depends on how strong of a tablet you want. If you want it to perform really, really well, then the Pro performs super well. And then if you just need it for like some games and to read some music, make some video calls maybe, this one does really great. I'll put the specs up on the screen here, but the iPad Pro does have 2 cameras. The iPad Air just has 1. There is also no flash on this one. This one does have a flash, which I do find to be helpful when I'm scanning music on here. If you'd like me to compare anything else on these 2 iPads, please leave a comment down below, and I would love to make a part 2 of this video showing whatever you would like to see. So that was the iPad Pro and the iPad Air. Which one do you think did better? Is there one that you own that you really stand by? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And if you use your iPad as a musician in a different way than I showed in this video, let me know how you use it down below. I would love to get some new ideas and just hear how you use your own tech. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider supporting my content on Ko-fi. I post new videos every Sunday at noon Eastern Time. Thanks for watching.